All right, let's make sure we're getting out the other side here, D. Let me just refresh this, see if we're getting out. Takes a minute. There
Oh,
we
that's a
go.
crazy picture.
Yeah, yeah, you take insane pictures. Okay, and a very good morning, everybody. It is the 1st of June 2020. And welcome to all of you with DeeDubs Travels here today. And it's been obviously an exciting few days for us
hmm
here with some good news we'll get into in a bit with D and some of his video footage, which I find very exciting. Get down to some of our, hey Uber, how are you, honey? Almost
Hello,
Uber.
Uber.
Get down to some of the things and some of the takeaways of the protest that Dee and I have been covering the last couple days.
Might want to be live.
Yeah, let me put it on live chat. Hi, Flawless. How are you? Hey, Christina,
Hey, everybody.
Cheryl, Banky. Nice to see you, Charlotte. Good morning to you. All right. I don't know what that means. The attorney's coming on TV in 10. I don't know what that means. I don't think anybody cares. Last night was crazy. It was crazy. The
Yeah.
expectations and understanding of you associate big cities, but smaller cities, 200,000 people here. Hello, cute kitty. They can still amp it up last night. They did not disappoint.
No, it did not
Did
disappoint.
not disappoint with,
Getting shot at by rubber bullets,
yeah.
staring down the barrel of a gun.
Hey, for,
It
yeah,
was
we got a
definitely
lot of
surreal.
views and we got some good news for DeeDubs Travels that's going to be coming up. We're going to hold you guys in suspense here for a bit. So between the sideshows, the standoffs, and then I swear my ear got creased on the side with a rubber bullet last night. I could not resist this one shot. This girl was down on her knees, and the cops were lined up, and the lights was great behind with all the red and blue. And I thought, what a great silhouette. So I'm going out there in the middle of the street to sit my camera down low, and next thing we know, you can hear it on the video too.
Yeah.
You can hear the rubber bullets popping all around me, and
hmm
the same way. And some guy got bagged in and nuts with
Right in the nuts.
one. They,
Oh,
good morning, everybody.
the family attorney to tell us the autopsy results in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let's see. Good morning, Joey
Yeah, that
D.
was we went to one, we get gassed 4 times. We go to another, and we're getting shot at by rubber
Yeah.
bullets. And even though they're rubber bullets, it doesn't feel good. But it's the whole thing of the gun, the force that gets you like to run the hell away.
Yeah, and I'm standing there like, what is that? I'm feeling things whizzing by me, and I'm hearing things bouncing off the buildings and things. And man, they're shooting at me. It's
Yeah,
Rosie Girl. Are
they
you,
were shooting at
you
me, and
know?
so I put my hands up, and then I'm looking over, and I'm looking at you, and I'm going. I got one camera, one hand up, and the other going. I'm just
Move.
recording, moving backwards so that they see I'm not a threat. And I noticed that barrel went from me to you, and I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing? Put your hands up!"
Yeah, it was
You're
intense.
taking your
So
camera
yeah,
as a threat.
sometimes I don't always put safety first, and I recognize that. Because it's all about the viewing experience and capturing that at the moment when you can line up a good shot and things. But at that point in time, it was declared an unlawful
Yeah.
assembly, and
Yep.
they were in a clearing phase, and they weren't messing around with what was going on. So yeah, it was very dramatic. And some people will complain about the news, the press pass and things like that. But the bottom line is this, guys: we live in a very fractured world today, where freedom of the press is a guaranteed constitutional right in this nation, equivalent to freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, all of our freedoms enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Remember, the Constitution wouldn't have been ratified. Some states demanded those amendments be put in before the Constitution was ratified. And news is a very fractured thing now. And I don't care whether you have a WordPress or whatever you do. If you're out there gathering story and getting raw feed, raw pencil and paper story, raw anything, then you are legitimate. There's nobody to decide what's legitimate and what's not. You fall into the trap of CNN versus Fox and having agendas, the war between Fox and CNN. They've lost all of their midpoint objectivity.
Hmm.
Okay, all of Fox's stories are couched in pro-Trump, uh, pro whatever's going on, pro Attorney General. All of CNN stuff against. Uh, um, is against Trump and all that.
Yeah.
You know, you can almost feel like they're pulling for a new world order or something
Yeah,
like that.
that seems like what it is.
So when I go out there, I have a couple of intentions. Do not editorialize. There were some people in the side chat that were talking about the size of some of the women and some of the looks of some of the women. Thank you, Jessica, and things like that. You have to resist talking about that stuff. And you have to stay focused. Thank you, Jessica. You have to stay focused on what your mission is out there, and your mission is to bring raw footage so people can make up their own.
Hey, Alvin.
People can make up their own mind.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think both Dee and I resist very much the taunting, and to my mind, if good morning everybody, if they ask you on the side chat whose side, if they can't figure out whose side you're on, then you're doing good coverage in my mind.
Yeah,
Okay?
because I'm not on either one side.
Yeah.
I'm just there filming.
Neither am I. My objective is to be there and gather that footage with all the freedoms that enshrine. Some people, guy was critical last night of on a panel, but the guy has suddenly gone around and done what I do: go on the street, talk to people, ride a mini bike around with a very shaky camera and gather footage and things. But what they don't do is get right up on the front where things are going on. And I can't help it if I live in a very active area of the country that a lot of things are happening here. So, you know, that's the bottom line about it. So people, you know, the few critics can say what they want about it, but there's nobody out there to decide what's a legitimate news gathering thing and what is a amateur level. They're all accorded the same rights. Now the difference is if you want to get into press conferences and you want to get into shows or you want to get into rock concerts, to me that's a misuse of a pass. Things like that. That's a terrible misuse. Not so much the press conferences, but things like that. You'll never see that used in those particular instances. It's straight down the line. Thank you, Kitty. One thing neither Dee or I are lacking is courage to bring you the stories and plenty of frontline things, because that's really what's going on out there. So you'd still experience some negativity for people that, you know, jealousy, of course, is one thing. The views have been astounding on the coverages we've got, which brings me to part two today. And Dee, you want to share your news today?
San Francisco CBS News, I believe it's News 5, got a hold of me and asked if they could use my videos online and on air, and I said absolutely. So they're gonna. Only thing they asked for is, only thing I asked for actually was just to give credit to my channel. So that's what they're gonna do, is use my videos.
Hi, Valerie. Thank you for your.
So it'll be all over the news. It'll be all over online. It'll be great.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. It's a tribute to me. It's a tribute to the gathering. It's a tribute. It's a stamp saying, "Hey, that's good enough to be on commercial broadcast."
Yeah.
I mean, what higher order could there be of when somebody says, "Hey, I like the video footage that you have, and we would like to use it in our news stories and on our online media." So I think that's that's quite a feather in the cap to do that. I mean, I'm excited for Dee, and I'm happy that they reached out to him for that. And that to me just gives a stamp of
channel
legitimacy. It's CBS Bay Area 5. You're a CBS affiliate. Here, so.
I would show the email except for
No, don't.
the thing about that is it's got everybody. It's got their personal information on there when they contacted me. But it's KPIX TV in San Francisco, CBS 5.
So, yeah. So I think that that's tremendous on to have the reach out, to have that video used, and it makes me feel good too,
Yeah,
being
CBS.
out there that we're doing the things that people are enjoying watching and enjoying seeing, without having things filtered through the talking heads of commentary and editorializing about things that are going on. No, Susie, I wouldn't expect
No, I did
if
actually.
they reached out to Dee.
I did mention you. I
Yeah, I'm
said I
gonna
have a
say
partner
it's
that was with, and she
yeah,
also filmed and
yeah. I mean,
gave him her channel name.
I mean that's sweet, but it's not to me. It's like. Um, they reached out to him, which I think is fantastic. And I'm one of the people on YouTube that can celebrate the success of other people. As Dee will tell you, I've always been his greatest pusher and
Hmm.
things to giving my thoughts and things like that. So I feel like I enjoy some of the glow of that.
I think at the same time while you're pushing me in certain situations, though, I'm like they're pulling you
Right.
back. Like that's too much.
Exactly. Yes, record and share. I think that broadcast they'll always have it. They always put their
It's gonna be on their YouTube
nightly
channel,
news
sure,
up
for sure.
there.
Yeah.
Once the news is done, they put it up there in a finished capsule for
Hmm.
people to watch. So, no, Dee's footage is going to be used into KPIX, which is the Bay Area 5 channel, CBS affiliate here. So, did I feel down at the mouth? Did I feel jealous?
No,
Did
he
I
was
feel?
happy.
I
He was excited.
mad.
Like, all right, that's awesome.
I was just like,
Just as
yeah,
excited as me,
yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, man, I was like, I'm like, this is great stuff that happens for people.
I would upload those. Great to meet you.
Yeah, so I would just put that out there that celebrating that is that's what number one, that's what friends do. And because it could have just as easily been me or something, and I'm sure Dee would be like high fiving or high elbowing or whatever. And it's just like, at my age, and that's the beauty of being my age, I don't have to worry about who got what and who did. I'm an old bat, right? It doesn't matter to me anymore. Think of Grandma Rosie. I'm just celebrating,
Yeah.
celebrating that. Hi, Brandon. How you
They want to
doing?
use the Oakland and they want to use the Santa Rosa.
That's
So,
good. It's good they asked to use a lot of media to just take. Well, they're not really allowed to. They give you a choice: attribution, or we'll buy it from you, and then it's ours.
yeah, it was either
So
I give them the footage and take it down on my channel. Pretty much, I sell my footage to them, or I go ahead and let them use it because it right now I'm monetized, so they can't just take that and use it to their own free will because I'm
right.
monetized. So they have to either buy it or ask for permission.
Carrie Joe
So
says, was it for the views and notoriety? No, Carrie, it was obviously a derivative of what we did on the streets last night. It's not like we reached out to the TV stations, D, and said, hey, I got this, check it over now and do that. So you already know, Carrie Joe, it's a derivative product of what we did on the street. Takeaway was I felt most the majority were youth acting a fool and the extra chaos for a chance to show up and cause a little totally off track. Well,
yeah, that's what we talked about
we
too.
know the process now of what happens in these particular situations is you'll have the people that go there with the good intentions, okay, and then through the night it breaks down, okay. Why don't
Hmm.
you give them the chronology of what happens when you first get out there? And you have the legitimate protesters, and then after an hour or two, they start to head off. They've done their thing, and then you're left with a hardening core as the night goes on. Because
Right.
some of those
Yeah.
people wanted to take that mall so bad.
That they sat and waited for the protesters to leave. The protesters are trying to come back, saying, "Come on, everybody, come on!" And they're just like, "No, we're just gonna wait for y'all to leave."
Yeah, maybe it's the start of a side business. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, Tammy. But today is a day to celebrate that and enjoy it. I mean,
Thing
it's a
is, if I
wonderful.
sold it to them, they would never put my channel out there and everything else, and I would have got like a penny's amount for it. I would much rather them put my name out there and give me that free advertising on national television than have them buy it and not have to give me any credit for it.
Yeah, that would just be another purchased thing for the station, and there wouldn't be any attribution or anything like that. So I think there's nothing wrong with getting your name out there. YouTube is a video sharing platform, and sometimes you'll leap the platform to a bigger platform. Bay Area News with 10 million people around here is a pretty big platform for that. So it's would have been a different story if we're hounding news organizations and look at this, look at this. It
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't go down that way. It's just a really nice byproduct of that. Yeah, well, we saw people there. Well, you did see the shot sideshow. A lot of people were. They have that little area at Courthouse Square that is great for sideshows, and they put on a hell of a sideshow last night. I'm surprised some people
Right.
didn't get tail ended with their car whizzing around because they're moving fast, and if that car knocks you,
I was just the whole time it's going on. I'm thinking somebody is gonna either get seriously killed or injured, like seriously injured or killed, and it's not gonna be just one person because it would be you have all these idiots right on the car and not knowing what's going on because they're paying attention to their screen. Then all of a sudden jump back real quick. It was just
hey Eli,
I was waiting, and then sometimes those guys didn't know what they were doing and almost jumped at the crowd.
how about the guy that climbed and fell off the side of the building?
Yeah, walked this, climbed up the side of the building, and everybody's cheering. All of a sudden, he lets go. He accidentally slipped his grip
Yeah,
and hit the awning. If you would have hit that concrete,
be dead. I mean, he had brain injury, and he ended up falling through the canvas on top of the awning anyway, and gone down and hitting the sidewalk. There were people climbing up on the light poles and the traffic signal things. I mean, it was it's insane. It's absolutely insane. What's high diamonds? How are you? It's insane. But the funniest thing to me these days is the way that the young women cheer this on. And let's face it, we've been in enough protest scenes now to know that
yeah,
the women are the one that take the total lead. I mean, we had a guy
yeah,
that
they
was
do
acting like security glass, stay behind the line, don't give him a reason and stuff like that. But if you notice in reviewing the footage, it's always the women that really get
on
up
the
on the front,
blowhorns,
blow horns, and right on the
speeching.
front line. And we came here for action, and we're going to get action. Hey, Atlanta. Hey, Johners. How are you doing today?
No, I did not see that rubber Wilbur.
Yeah, we all know about the.
Hey, Atlanta.
We all, yeah, just you just continue to boot them out. They just have to create new accounts and new accounts. The cars spinning out was the worst. They were lucky no one was run over. Yeah, because the tail end, his position isn't staying stable. He's actually swirling in a widening radius out from the center. And we don't have this. We don't have the brightest bulbs in the back. They're
No, no.
stand there, and then you have some people. One of the things in the sideshow is it's almost like bullfighting. 4 or 5 people will stand in the center and video the guy while he's doing it, and like matadors in a bull ring,
Right, like you can't get the good footage from up above showing what's going on. I
Hi,
thought that was
Kiwana,
better
how
because
are
you got the
you?
whole effect of everything. You're not just like right up on the car.
Yeah, I mean it's like that was really and that's what they call the inner core of the sideshow, and they can really get whacked when you really gotta know your stuff when you do a sideshow. And I mean the funniest thing was, no offense to your scooter, but a guy came down with his scooter.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even ever do that. Like, you know, sit there and try to do a burnout on a scooter. That's so cute.
I don't know. I don't know, Petey. They're very draining. You do a lot of legwork. The police kept shifting us from place to place and lengthening our walk back to the rancho more and more and more as the hour went on. We'd start down one street. Nope, go
Thank you,
back.
Simple Simon.
You know, go back. Hey, Simon, how are you? Good to see you. Uh, and we ended up, it probably ended up 3 miles. I didn't have my proper shoes on last night, so my heel was absolutely killing me. When I got back, I never imagined I'd be doing that much walking last night. But they wanted to take that mall last night so bad. And there were some windows busted out in the back, but some of the protesters stood in front of it and sort of told
Yeah,
people,
that's what
don't.
I thought was really good. You know, they were
Yeah,
always having like almost like guards with the sign, and as soon as no man, if you're here to loot, you're at the wrong protest. Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! So,
yeah.
and then one person was spray painting, and he got while he's spray painting, they're yelling, screaming at him.
Yeah, Carrie Joe is just a troll, so you guys do what you want with that. There's no objective opinion there. It just comes in here. People have a freedom to do what they want to do with their YouTube channels, and that's exactly what we exercise. Nobody would tell you what to put up or where to go on your channel. Okay, so if you're here,
Hey Eddie.
give a thumbs up here. I appreciate it this morning, everybody. If you like what's going on, what's going on, Eddie?
Well, I
Yeah,
found out
the
that
cops organized an outstanding plan last
the
night.
first round of cops that we encountered right there at those freeway entrances were Santa Rosa cops. Later on, some of the other city cops came in. When they started coming in and firing rubber bullets, those were San Francisco cops.
Yeah, and we got home at
They
one
don't play.
o'clock. We got home at 1 o'clock last night. Well, screwed by Dems. I got to tell you, you got to break what you see into two parts. You have what I call a legitimate protest. For a while, it stays coupled like a car to the what I call the low lifes out there. And the low lifes are there for mis. There were people with shopping bags and stuff
Mm-hmm.
last night.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do the deal. After the official protest, they'll put a time from 8 to 10 p.m. After that official protest, 70% of the people probably leave the area. They've come, they've put their message out. They don't want to get arrested. They don't want to have a confrontation with police. They head off. We saw them breaking off and leaving. And then what you have left is the decoupled car of people that are there to have a party. And it's a sideshow. It's potential looting. It's hoped for confrontations with police and things like that. So that's the two parts that I've discovered in this process: is legitimate people leave because they don't want to get arrested, they don't want to be gassed, and things like.
Yeah, when they say this is now considered an unlawful protest, you will see
Thank
a
you,
lot of
Sonny.
people like. Even last night, they were like, "Man, this is getting out of hand. This is dangerous. We're leaving." You see a bunch of people actually getting in their cars and leaving.
Yeah, Brandon Rubber Wilbur has a question for you.
Did you say last night the girl on the microphone was a paid protester? I got that feel from her too. I think a lot of these, yeah, she was definitely paid and organized. One of the ones on the mic, she especially the one without a voice. We've seen her in Oakland. I mean, you watch if you watch a lot of these protests,
You see the same.
you will see
people
the
shooting
same
around.
person in a lot of these protests in different places.
Thank you, Alvin.
They're definitely paid.
Hi, Sean. How are you? And there was one guy that was clearly trying to be an organizer of the overall thing. Then there was
Mm-hmm.
security people that were telling people every time a bottle got hurled, they're like, no, no, don't do that. You know,
A
don't
whole
give,
bunch of people yelling.
don't give
at
them a reason. So
Hey,
they
Sean
tried
Britt.
very hard to have a very peaceful protest.
The protest was
night.
peaceful. The rioters were still mixed in, trying to start crap to get things going, so it gives them an excuse to loot.
Yeah, thank you, Lucky Beans. I think most people appreciate us being there and doing the things that we
Oh,
do.
no problem, Lucky Beans.
You know, it's the freedom of having the channel on YouTube gives us the ability to pursue that. They also give us the tools to go out there and live stream. And you'll see other people were live streaming and following us. The guy on his moped that's driving around NorCal with the shaky camera and, you know, doing street things now. They're all following what I did and then Dee did. And then you saw Eric the Goat guy. He was at the Bellingham, Washington protest last night, and he had over 4,000 watchers, 4,000 views, which is an astounding number. So obviously, if you're out there and you're bringing the topical content, people can't help it coming. They want to be a part of that without getting their skulls or
Yeah, but
rubber bullets in
this is not for everybody. It's not the cops you really got to worry about. To be honest with you, it's not them, because they're not going to
Thank
do
you,
anything
Craig.
anyways. If something happens to you, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to break their line for nothing. So if you're going out there and you're really not street smart, or you're disabled in some way, people see that as a weakness. They're going to
Bellevue,
attack you.
thank you,
They
Cheryl.
will
Bellevue.
attack you.
Hey, Emily, thank you for your wonderful note. I want to thank Valerie Lonnie, too, for your kindness. Was there a time at all when you got scared? Well, when I felt my ear get creased by something flew an eighth of an inch from my ear, and I heard things bing, bing. You can hear it on the video. They're hitting the building in the behind me and on the ground. I mean, they were dead aimed on D, and then he put his hands up, and then I was down low trying to get the shot, and things are whizzing around. Yeah, I was scared at that particular point in time. Reminds me I'll probably take goggles or something next time. Some reporter last week
No,
got her eye injured by somebody, a rubber bullet. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. Let's see. Thank you for what you showed me. How
Oh,
do you
I didn't do that originally. I actually, when everybody was trying to encourage him, I said, no, don't do that. You'll get gassed. I've been gassed 4 times. That was the whole thing. Then everybody else started asking about things, so I was just answering questions. But
Yeah,
I was
so,
telling them,
hey,
don't do
Kevin,
it.
how are you? Well, you would hate to see somebody get injured for doing something that they're not really, if you show up and you start to look, I don't want to say clueless, but if you start to, it's not a good place to learn the ropes of what you're doing, because we've seen people turn on. We saw boyfriend girlfriend confrontations, and did not see it protested. None of La Mesa was there to express their feelings. Yeah, well, the same thing with Baltimore. I'm really shocked that Baltimore didn't explode into flames and be a leading city, and they've managed to pull off peaceful protests for the most part, which is amazing. For all we went through these past years, I was hoping nobody would start any fires. I've thought the tone of respect was very high, Huck. I thought that the legitimate organizers really went out of their way to make sure that no property got destroyed. A couple windows got knocked out, but I didn't see any holes. There were a few hangers that came out of like Macy's and things laying on the ground and things like that. And also the cops stayed away till they declared it an unlawful assembly, and then at that point they move into a clearing mode. But until then, they let them have the sideshow in the center, and I think if they had tried to come in, then there would be more problems. And as I mentioned yesterday, you're starting to see a pushback now in the New York Times, particularly today in the Washington Post and Bloomberg. Some of the business owners are asking the question, where were the cops when a lot of this was coming down? I said, this kind of touchy-feely cop time we live in of just let them have their space and protest. Pendulum's probably swung too far the other way now. And on the side of the LAPD, of course, it says to protect and to serve. So there wasn't a lot of protection mode.
Protect businesses.
Yeah, in LA. How many people? I think maybe four. Maybe at the peak they had 500, of which half of them peeled off at 10 p.m. And then they just started gradually working their way down. And you always get the hardcore that they're not there to protest. They're there to, what do you call it, smash and grab and that kind of thing. So, Eric left his girlfriend alone. She's simple. Well, see, that's where D feels some sense of responsibility. You'll hear him numerous times, because I'm a real risk taker when it comes to being out there, and Um, Not that Dee doesn't, but he's always looking at things and assessing what's going to happen. And gas is coming. We need to get to the side of the building. Well,
Yeah.
the gas will take a
I'm
minute
trying to
to
be
reach here.
observant.
And he's like, it's not that the gas is going to reach you. It's like the crowd is going to trample you backwards. And they're going to smash you into this. They're not going to slow down for you and try to go around you. So I really like that aspect of the way that Dee thinks, and of course, he's a big guy, and the way that he stands there and kind of, you're always looking from a safety point of view,
Yes.
which
How can I get out of the situation if things get
yeah.
ugly?
So he's always thinking about where's our out. If the stuff flies now, which direction are we going to go, as opposed to the people in the center that are they're just going to be running a straight back and getting the effects. Went out and get the effects. Did the police have video cameras? If the police are video cameras, if police have video cameras, you are not going to see those police. They will blend in as press or as people in the crowd. Okay, in plain clothes. You're not going to see somebody with a police vest. It's the official videographer of what's going on. You'll just see people with. We always. I see the same guys, same people around now doing the coverage, and
Yeah.
they'll usually.
That's the other thing too. I like to stick with the with
Yeah.
the guys.
With the professionals.
Yeah, with the professionals doing their videotape, because they know, they by now they already know what is the safe spot for them. When they start putting on their gas mask, I know they know too. It's about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bully, how you doing? Good to see you. They'll be reviewing. You have teams within the police department that all they do is gather from as many sources as possible, as much video as they can assemble, and they're trying to find. New York is a case in point where two protesters slash vandals spray painted the side of the venerable St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York. Now, I don't care if you're the most dim-witted person or the meanest person, 99.99% of people aren't going to deface a church, okay? Or a synagogue or something like that are out in these protests. But you saw it. You saw her. Now they had the cameras, and they put out that picture of those two tagging that wall, and somebody will come forward. Somebody will drop a dime on them and tell the cops who it was. Hey, Michaela, you changed your channel name. All right. It's through WordPress there, Petey. And as I said in the beginning, the press is a freedom under the Constitution.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed, and we've had a big, huge splintering of news organizations over since the rise of the internet. And let's face it, big cable channels, CBS, NBC, CBS, not CBS, but CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, they're all out there with an agenda. They'll put a spin on everything that we do. So people have the right to go out there and gather news themselves and put it onto their own platform. And that's what it is. What you won't hear last night is a lot of editorializing, and the fact that there were so many people on the side chat asking, who are you for, or are you pro-Trump or anti-Trump, tells you that you're doing a good job out there, tired of paying a premium, living in California. So, hey, Lisa Ann, how are you? Donner meat is 0 in the U.S. Santana. Oh, Bully's got plenty of hand sanitizer. YouTube is taking down vaping channels, so I didn't want to lose my channel. Wow. Okay, well, Jay Hayes is going to be sorry to hear that. I mean, he's the biggest vaping channel out there. He's got 250,000 subs or something.
He does have another channel that's not for vaping.
Right. I drink bourbon, Kiwana. I don't really cotton to whiskey too much. I like bourbon, of course, is a whiskey, but I like the barrel aged stuff like that. That's what I really enjoy on that. So, which brings me now to the travel aspects. We never know on a daily basis where we're going to be. Probably not the coolest time. We're just keeping an eye on events that are going on down there. Las Vegas is supposed to reopen on the 4th. So we'll see on the 4th. There might be a huge traffic jam to get into Vegas, and I'm not sure if I want to be a part of that process. So like I said, we'll probably take off for Reno. I think they're opening on the same date over there, and then make our way south. But we have no idea when the DMV is opening. And any word on that?
No, not yet.
Nothing.
It says
So
until further notice.
yeah. So
Some DMVs are opening though, across the
okay.
United States. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So not Nevada, but across
Yeah.
the
Let me
United
just.
States, some DMVs are opening. I just don't know if Nevada's planning on opening anytime soon. Yeah, me in uniform. No. Yeah, I did try to join the Marines, but they couldn't take me.
Yeah, I don't see anything on. I don't see anything on an opening down there yet.
No, I'm gonna probably call the offices later on tonight or today. I mean,
Yes, who did that. No, the DMV. There's no word on the DMV as far as I can see on the channel on their Vegas. It's really they're going to open up the casinos and stuff. I don't know what the turnout is going to be. I can't gauge that. They've been giving out a lot of deals and things to get people down there. So
isn't that crazy? You can go to a casino, you can go to a liquor store, you can go to a dispensary, you can go out to eat, but you cannot get plates for your vehicle.
or you really couldn't hold the church service.
Yeah, you can't even hold a church service, but you can get drunk.
Our cathedral here opened up, and they defied the local shelter in place, which is still on here, and not shelter in place, but phase. We're still under phase 2 of the opening, and they went ahead and had an outdoor. It was Feast of the Pentecost. California DMV opened. Yeah, so
28th.
I haven't seen a date for the DMV. All that happens when you go to your website, all you see is just notifications that will announce when we're reopening. So if you guys have not hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. And you can look up KPIX News Bay Area. They have it on the net too, and you can see what comes up or on the news, and they'll let us know about that. Most of the DMV stuff can be done online, yeah, except for title. Okay, they want to see the real title in hand, and titling is a whole different matter. Yeah, we have. Thank you. We have uh, little offices, insurance companies, and stuff that can do DMV little sub offices that are franchised, I guess. You can get registrations done and things like that there, but you cannot do title work.
Oh.
Title work must be done in person on
Registration and
They got to see
new registration.
They've got
Updating
to. They really got to examine that certificate, and you got to be standing there with your ID and all that kind of stuff.
Otherwise, it's so easy to steal. It would be so easy to steal things from people.
Yes, Cheryl, thank you. With that, I'm going to make it a shorty. Today, I want to thank you guys. Thank you, DeeDubs Travels, for sitting in. And once again, congratulations on CBS picking that up here in the Bay Area. And with that, you guys have a wonderful day. How long do I think the protests will last?
Probably till Tuesday.
People burn themselves out over a
I
period.
say Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think that'll be about the limits of people's physical abilities. Every day, the counter forces get more organized. We saw that in Santa Rosa last night. the police force, the CHP, the Sonoma County
National
Sheriff's
Guard.
Office did a outstanding job of understanding exactly how they were going to get the flow of people directed where they were going to let them go, until finally everybody's herded into by the mall in
Hmm.
that area
And
there.
I'm
So.
really shocked they were pushing people to the mall. Like,
Well, they had
why?
those cops on motorcycles sitting back there, and some
Yeah,
other
it's
people
true.
all night long. Thank you, Charlotte. Good to see you. Everybody else, Joan Ann Smith,
Thanks,
Jen.
Charlie.
I can't leave without thanking my moderators for last night. You know, some people will complain that they don't have the freedom of speech. I try to run a channel without a lot of f-bombing and cursing and things like that. That's my choice. That's the right that YouTube gives me. If you don't like it, there's 628, what it was, 62 million other YouTube channels that you can watch and express yourself on those channels. I'm not saying that we don't drop one once in a while, but I try to have a channel that people can come to and just express themselves. There's over 80,000 words in the English language, twice as many as any other language in the world. You can certainly find a way with 80,000 words to express yourself on the channel. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. If you haven't hit the thumbs up on the way out, I would really, really appreciate it. Have a great one.